Hey, yo, what up, people? This is Jeff Yalden, your teen life coach. You've got questions, I've got answers, and I have the answer for you today. I am super stoked, super excited. One of my good friends, another youth speaker, his name is Jeff Wolfsberg, is here with me today, aka thedrugguy.com. If you're looking for a program on drugs, today's drugs, over-the-counter drugs, any drugs, drugs you do, drugs you don't do, drugs you want to educate your young people about, this is the guy. My wife likes him better than she likes me. That's how good this guy is. Jeff, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being here.
All right.
Let's I want to talk about a couple things. You know, I do schools, you do schools,
Right.
we talk to kids. We have a heart and passion for helping kids, but one of the biggest problems today is drugs. Can you tell me the difference between hard drugs and soft drugs?
Okay, the first thing to think about is like hard drugs and soft drugs are not like a clinical term. It's kind of like a more of a popular culture term. People kind of categorize things as hard. Like if I'm working with students and I'm like, hey, if I said hard drug, what do you say? And they'll say, oh, heroin. Or if I said soft drug, the most common answer is marijuana. Most addictive would be, and I ask kids to kind of guess, it's actually nicotine. And what they're looking at, and then you get methamphetamine and heroin and the opiates, and the alcohol is usually somewhere in the middle, and weed's a little bit to the right of the alcohol. The least addictive, but not necessarily least dangerous, are the hallucinogenics like salvia, LSD, things like that. What kids are often missing in this equation is that addiction and trouble with a drug is not just the drug itself, it's the interaction of the drug and the person.
Jeff, you just made a comment. You said marijuana, can that be addictive? I don't think teenagers understand that. So I want to ask you two questions. One,
Okay.
Can marijuana be addictive?
All right.
And number two, when students say marijuana is not as bad as alcohol, alcohol's not as bad as marijuana, is there right, wrong? What's your opinion?
Well, I think what they're doing is they're comparing apples and oranges a little bit there. I think when kids are asking me, Mr. Wolfsberg, what's worse, weed or alcohol? I think what they're really asking is what's worse, getting drunk or getting high? And I think, again, it goes back to the person. Certainly getting drunk in some ways, the thing about alcohol is that's unique about it is alcohol does touch every organ of the body. Unlike other chemicals that don't always touch every organ of the body. So if someone's abusing alcohol, it does a hell of a lot of damage. There's a physical toll to that. That's probably unlike any other drug in some degree. Weed doesn't necessarily have that kind of thorough kind of impact on the body. But I really think you're underestimating the harm of weed if you think, oh, I'd rather smoke weed, it's better for you than drinking. That's not always an accurate statement. The biggest myth I hear in the classroom is weed's not addictive. And I don't think this is ignorance on the part of the student or the adult. I think it's a misunderstanding of what addiction is. And it's also probably just lack of experience. Like I worked in a treatment center, for instance, for years as a counselor. And I've worked with kids who were coming into the treatment center. Their primary addiction was to marijuana. And as the weeks went by, these are like 30-day programs, as the weeks went by, they started experiencing real withdrawal symptoms from weed. Are they as intense as alcohol withdrawals or heroin withdrawals? No, of course not. But they're insomnia, stomach cramps, really uncomfortable headaches, cravings, mood swings because they were regulating their mood with weed when they were bored, unhappy, angry, lonely, and they didn't have that regulating substance anymore. So, but a lot of people don't have the experience of hanging out with a weed addict for 30 days and interacting with them at a deep level, so they just kind of overlook it. They miss it.
Right.
So here's the thing is, how do you define addiction? That's important. So the definition of addiction, the one that I use, is can the use of a substance or a behavior, so gambling, sex, things like that, can that have a detrimental impact on your key relationships, love, work, school?
Well, same thing. I mean, we're speaking of addictions. It's not just gambling or sex or alcohol or drugs, but then you get into social media. I mean, you could be talking Facebook and Twitter, and you and I talk about that all the time.
Love that stuff.
Addiction.
So can the use of the substance or the behavior, can it cause a detriment on your life? That means you're getting negative consequences, problems with the law, problems with mom and dad, girlfriend, boyfriend, partner trouble, and you're unable to kind of correct it. You just keep getting these negative consequences, and you're just having a hard time keeping it in check or even stopping it. If you're in that category, then there's you can't diagnose anything on a video, but you can certainly start to suspect that maybe you're having some problems with it.
Is today's weed stronger than the weed of our parents' generation?
Right. The answer is absolutely yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Red flag, like trouble number one. Do you pregame? Pre-gaming means you're throwing a party Saturday night and you're like, hey, Jeff, come on over. But I start drinking at 8, so I arrive at your party already a little drunk. That's a red flag number one. Is it affecting schoolwork? If you're really honest with yourself, if you weren't partying as much, would you be doing better quality work? Mm-hmm. Has a friend ever said to you, wow, I'm a little worried about you? Or have they ever criticized your drinking? Have they ever suggested that maybe you want to cut back a little bit? So has anybody ever said something to you about your relationship with a chemical? That's 3. Have you ever experienced a blackout? Like you woke up the following day and you're like, wow, I'm kind of missing parts of the night.
You just came up with 4 great points, whether I have a problem myself or I see that my friend has a problem. Is there on your website, jeffwolfsberg.com, JEFFWOLFSBERG.
That's good.
.com. That is pretty good. I almost messed up there. But can my people go to your website? I mean, 4 great points. Are you pregame?
Are you pre-gaming? Is it affecting your schoolwork?
Schoolwork.
Do you drink more than you intend to sometimes?
Drink more than you intend to. What's the 4th one?
Are you experiencing blackouts?
Experience blackouts.
Sometimes we call them grayouts, because grayouts mean like you get some of the night but not all of the night.
Right.
You know, so that's important to recognize.
Can they go on your website and find out more?
Absolutely. If anybody is watching this and they have additional questions, they can go to jeffwolfsberg.com. Email me. One of the problems we're having in this country is we've really reduced drug education down to way too simplistic terms, which is if a drug education program works, that means nobody drinks and gets high. If it's failed, that means people are drinking and getting high. You're never going to win and engage students when that is your philosophy.
Right.
So when I work with students, my goal really in the 4 days is to help them in a society that is really filled with addictive potential dangers, is to get kids to take 4 days, or whether it's an assembly, just to think about their relationship with chemicals, in a way that doesn't feel like someone's judging them, or there's not a moralistic overtone. Like if you don't drink, you're a good kid, but if you do, you're bad. I don't think that's useful. And then at the same time, so getting kids to think about their lives. And one of my beliefs is that no matter what your relationship is with chemicals, whether you are not drinking, you're a non-user, or you are drinking, I think people always can make changes in their life that can reduce some of the risk.
This is Jeff Yalden. We're just keeping it real. JeffWolfsberg.com. If you want a speaker to come in, speak to your sophomores, look no further. JeffWolfsberg.com. I am Jeff Yalden. JeffYalden.com. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out, homie. Word.